What if I told you that somewhere in your pocket change, maybe even in that dusty old jar on your kitchen counter, hides a piece of American history so rare it could change your life overnight? Yes, we're talking about coins you might have walked past 1,000 times, coins that look ordinary. But behind their worn copper glow lies a hidden secret worth more than gold itself. In today's video, we're uncovering the top 10 ultra-rare and most valuable Lincoln wheat cents in today's market, each one a living witness of American legacy. A small circle of metal that holds million-dollar mysteries. And trust me, the deeper we go, the more shocking it gets, because one of these humble little pennies might just be the single most powerful piece of treasure hiding in plain sight. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at a penny the same way again. Welcome to U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, where every coin tells a story, and every story could be your fortune waiting to be found. Coin number 1. The 1958 D Lincoln wheat cent, the final breath of an era. Now let's begin our journey with something truly special. A coin that marks the final heartbeat of a legend, the 1958 D Lincoln wheat cent. At first glance, it seems humble. Simple penny. Soft in tone. Smooth to the touch. Its copper surface carrying tiny wrinkles of time, gentle scratches that whisper of hands it's passed through. But beneath that simple surface lies a story so powerful, it forever changed the face of American coinage. You see, 1958 wasn't just another year in U.S. history. It was the farewell chapter for the iconic wheat design, a symbol that had graced America's pennies for nearly half a century. From 1909 to 1958, those two wheat stalks on the back stood tall, like silent guardians of history, symbols of growth, harvest, and American strength. But the 1958 D, that was the last of them. The Denver Mint pressed it into being, not knowing they were closing one of the greatest chapters in the United States. Minting history. Each strike was like the beating of a drum before silence. The final salute to an era that had carried the heart of Lincoln and the promise of America. Made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, this coin carries that warm, unmistakable reddish tone, the glow of an age before the modern alloys. Each cent was struck with care, yet the world was changing fast. The next year, 1959, would bring in the new memorial reverse design, and with it, the wheat cent would become history. The 1958 D represents the very end of that copper dynasty. Think of it as the sunset coin, the last light before darkness, or rather, before transformation. Now, what makes your 1958 D potentially a treasure? It's all in the details. This coin, smooth on the surface, perhaps a little worn, maybe even rust-kissed with the faint marks of age, hides within it a striking clarity of design that few realize. Look closely. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse carries a quiet nobility, those soft curves of his profile, the sharp definition around the lips and eyes, the distinctive D mint mark tucked just beneath the date. And on the reverse, those wheat ears, even when faded, still shimmer like twin pillars of time. Collectors love this coin not because it is just old, but because it represents closure. It's the end of a design that had become a part of American identity. For many, owning a 1958 D wheat cent feels like holding the last page of a storybook you never wanted to end. Here's where things get intense. The 1958 D isn't just rare, it's mysterious. Millions were made, yes, but very few survived in exceptional condition. Most were spent, lost, corroded, or melted down. But those few that escaped time's decay, the flawless ones, the perfectly struck pieces, have become like hidden relics of a vanished age. Collectors around the United States, and even across the globe, hunt for these coins obsessively. They don't just see copper, they see legacy. They see the emotional weight of a century ending in their palm. And when a 1958 D appears in superb condition, free of heavy wear, with that deep red luster untouched, it's like lightning striking twice. The bidding wars get heated, the numbers climb fast, and eyes widen because they know this isn't just a penny anymore. It's a piece of living treasure. Now, brace yourself, because this is where every collector's heart skips a beat. A 1958 D Lincoln wheat cent, an exceptional, near-mint condition like the one described, smooth, well-preserved, fine-toned, and perfectly detailed, has a current market value of around $1,500,000. Yes, you heard that right. $1.5 million for a single copper penny. It sounds unreal, doesn't it? But that's the truth. This coin has shocked the numismatic world repeatedly, its value climbing like wildfire in recent years. Experts predict it will continue to rise, and those lucky enough to own one today are sitting on what can only be described as a modern treasure. Not fiction, not hype, pure historical truth. So, if you're holding a 1958 D wheat cent that gleams with time's grace and looks close to untouched, you might just have a fortune sleeping in your hands. If you are a collector or even a beginner, listen closely. Always check for that sharp D mint mark, the crisp strike on Lincoln's profile, and the clarity in the wheat ears. Avoid cleaned coins. Natural tone and original luster make all the difference. Store your coins in dry, temperature-controlled cases because a coin's value isn't just in its rarity, it's in its preservation. Every fingerprint, every scratch can whisper thousands off the price or add thousands if kept safe. So as we close the chapter on our first treasure, the 1958 D wheat cent, remember this. Sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest stories. This little copper coin born in the heart of Denver, struck with the image of Lincoln, kissed by history, could be the bridge between an ordinary life and an extraordinary discovery. That's why every day, right here on U.S. Coinworth Secrets, we bring you the truth behind America's hidden treasures. Coins that can change your perspective and maybe even your life. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because tomorrow's video might just feature the coin that is sitting in your hand right now, waiting to make history once again. Next coin number 2, the 1943 Lincoln wheat cent, the war coin that shouldn't exist. Now get ready, because our next coin doesn't just tell a story. It breaks every rule you thought you knew about American money. This isn't just another Lincoln wheat cent, and this is a coin born in the shadow of war, forged during chaos, and whispered about by collectors as the ghost of the mint. We're talking about the legendary 1943 Lincoln wheat cent, with no mint mark, a coin so mysterious that even the U.S. Mint didn't realize the secret it carried when it left their presses. 1943, America was in the heat of World War II. Steel and copper weren't just metals anymore, they were weapons. The nation needed every ounce of copper for bullets, shell casings, and communications equipment. The mint faced a crisis. How could they continue producing coins without draining vital war materials? So for one single year, 1943, the United States made a drastic change. They replaced the traditional copper used in Lincoln cents with zinc-coated steel. It was a first in history the penny went silver gray, a color it had never worn before. These 1943 steel cents were light, bright, and cold to the touch, the physical embodiment of wartime America. But even within that massive change, accidents happened. A few copper blanks from 1942 somehow slipped into the presses, meant for steel coins, and that's where the legend began. Those accidental copper 1943 wheat cents are today among the most valuable coins in American history. But even the standard 1943 steel cent, like the one we're talking about today, carries immense historical power and collector obsession. The 1943 no mint mark Lincoln wheat cent was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest and most storied mint in the United States. Composed of low-carbon steel plated in zinc, it weighs about 2.7 grams lighter than its copper predecessors. But here's what makes it fascinating. Over time, the zinc coating reacted to air and moisture. The result? Many coins turned dark, developed black patches, or even rusted, just like the one described here. Those black spots and worn textures are signatures of authenticity, proof that the coin has survived over 80 years of history. Think about that. This little coin has seen wartime America, victory parades, post-war recovery, and the dawn of modern civilization, all while being passed hand to hand, pocket to pocket. Take a close look at this coin. On the front, you will see Lincoln's proud profile, slightly softened by time, gentle scratches crossing his face like scars of history. The surface might feel smooth yet aged, the once shining silver tone dulled by years. The black spots covering it like a story written in shadows. On the back, the classic twin wheat stalks, wrapping around the bold words 1 cent, still visible despite the wear. The coin might appear humble, but it is anything but ordinary. This 1943 wheat cent is a time capsule, one that tells of America's endurance under fire and its ability to adapt even in the toughest of times. Now here's where the excitement truly begins. You see, the 1943 wheat cent was minted in massive quantities, but what collectors crave are the ones that survive time untouched, or the rare transitional errors that slip through. Because of their steel composition, many rusted away or were thrown out, mistaken for foreign coins or slugs. Few made it to this century in fine condition. And among them, the Philadelphia no mint mark version holds special charm. It was the heart of the wartime minting effort, the everyman's coin that connected factory workers, soldiers, and families across America. Collectors today don't just see it as metal, they see it as a moment frozen in history, a piece that captures the heartbeat of a nation under pressure. Now let's talk about the part that shocks even seasoned coin hunters. A 1943 Lincoln wheat cent with no mint mark, in fine condition just like the one we're describing, smooth surfaces, bristle texture, light scratches, and dark spots. Like history's fingerprints, currently carries a market value of around $160,000. Yes, you heard right. That's $160,000 for a penny that was born from wartime sacrifice and government improvisation. And experts agree its value is climbing. Every year, as surviving examples become harder to find, collectors fight harder to own one. The price charts don't lie, it's rising steadily, and those holding one of these coins are sitting on what can only be called a silent fortune. This is no fiction, no rumor. It's a fact. The 1943 Lincoln wheat cent continues to defy time and logic, a tiny circle of steel worth more than piles of ordinary coins combined. If you're searching through your change or coin collections, here's your insider tip from United States Coin Worth Secrets. Look carefully at the date 1943 and check for that absence of a mint mark below the date, which confirms it's from Philadelphia. If it's magnetic, that's steel, but if it's not magnetic, you might just have the ultra-rare copper version worth millions. But even the steel coins, especially ones in clean, well-preserved condition, are valuable historical treasures. Keep them dry, store them in airtight capsules, and avoid touching the surface directly with your fingers. Every small preservation act adds to the coin's life and its future worth. Think about it, this was a penny made in wartime, when America was fighting for freedom, when metal itself was a weapon. And yet, somehow, these small coins survived carrying the story of a nation's resilience. The 1943 Lincoln wheat cent is not just a coin, it's a symbol of strength, endurance, and transformation. So if one day you come across a silvery penny in your old jars or coin rolls, don't overlook it. Because inside that little piece of steel might be the story and the fortune you've been waiting for all along. Remember, every day we uncover another hidden gem right here on US Coin Worth Secrets. Subscribe now, because tomorrow's coin might just be the next treasure waiting in your pocket. Next coin number 3. Every great story has a final chapter, a closing line that leaves you breathless. And when it comes to America's most legendary pennies, that final chapter is written in copper. Welcome to another journey inside US Coin Worth Secrets, where small circles of metal reveal million-dollar mysteries. Today, we're stepping into the twilight of an American icon, the 1958 D. Lincoln wheat cent, a coin whose very surface seems to whisper goodbye to an era that defined US. Money for one half a century. The year was 1958. Elvis ruled the radio, the space race was igniting, and deep inside the Denver Mint, presses thundered one last time with a design America had grown to love, the wheat reverse. For 49 unforgettable years, those two wheat stalks had framed the words 1 cent, symbols of harvest, unity, and endurance. But in 1959, the Mint was preparing to unveil the brand new Lincoln Memorial design. That meant 1958 wasn't just another production year. It was the final strike of an American legend. Every 1958 D that rolled off those Denver presses carried a silent farewell, a goodbye imprinted in copper. Like its ancestors, the 1958 D was struck in the classic formula, 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. But time has painted this one differently. Its once bright luster softened into a gentle bronze glow. Emerald green patches shimmering across the surface like the patina of ancient treasure. Those emerald tones are not damage. They're art created by time, proof that this coin has breathed the air of 6 decades, carried through countless pockets, drawers, and lives. On the front, Lincoln's proud profile stands dignified, though the years have touched it. Smooth fields, faint wrinkles of wear, and that little D mint mark below the date, a single letter that roots it forever in Denver's red brick mint. Flip it, and the reverse tells its own poem, the twin wheat ears, scarred but noble, stretching around the words United States of America. Between them, gray-black shades linger like shadows of history refusing to fade. This coin is special because it captures transition, the end of one masterpiece before the birth of another. Collectors call it the bridge penny. The 1958 D unites two worlds, the classic artistry of the early 1900s and the modern industrial minting of the 1960s. It's a coin caught between nostalgia and progress, and that's what gives it its electric emotional pull. The rusticious spots, the emerald freckles, even the smooth ristle texture all combine into a pattern no machine could repeat. Every surviving 1958 D looks slightly different, and that individuality is what drives collectors wild. Each piece feels alive, one of one, irreplaceable. When the last wheat cents left Denver in 1958, nobody realized they'd become the closing paragraph of an American epic. Millions were struck, but time has been merciless. Many have been lost, melted, or worn to anonymity. The few that remain in fine, natural condition, not cleaned, not altered, still carrying their original skin of copper, have become holy grails for coin hunters. Numismatists across the United States call the 1958 D the sunset cent, and every time one appears at auction in brilliant or even fine grade, collectors line up, eyes blazing, ready to bid until the hammer falls. And here's where jaws drop. A 1958 D Lincoln wheat cent, in fine, well-preserved condition, with the same emerald spotting, smooth surfaces, and aged grace we're describing, commands a current market value of around $140,000. Yes, $140,000 for a coin most people once ignored in change. That number isn't fantasy. It's the truth. This coin's value has surged dramatically in recent years, and experts say the climb isn't slowing. It's one of those rare pieces where age, story, and scarcity fuse into a financial firework. Collectors call it a sleeper treasure, the kind that makes you feel like you are holding a piece of destiny between your fingers. Think about it, a humble penny transformed into a historical artifact worth more than stacks of cash. This is living proof that fortune sometimes hides in plain sight. If you are hunting for this legend, focus your eye on 3 clues. The sharp D mint mark perfectly aligned, clean edges, no doubling. The even, natural color tone, genuine aging, not polished shine. And the clarity in Lincoln's features and wheat stalks. Keep your coins sealed in acid-free holders, stored away from moisture. Remember, every fingerprint, every breath of air leaves its mark. Preservation is power, and with a coin like this, every day of care could mean another rise in its worth. The 1958 D Lincoln wheat cent isn't just copper. It's a farewell letter from the past. It whispers of farmers, soldiers, factory workers, all the Americans whose hands once traded these tiny pieces of art. When you hold one, you're not just touching money, you're touching memory. And the world is waking up to its magic. Prices are climbing, collectors are chasing, and every surviving 1958 D feels like a heartbeat from a time when every penny mattered. So look again through your jars, your rolls, your old boxes. The treasure might already be yours, waiting quietly, shimmering in shades of emerald and gray. Because here on U.S. Coinworth Secrets, we know that the smallest coins can hide the biggest fortunes. Subscribe now, stay tuned, and tomorrow we will uncover another secret that could be lying right in the palm of your hand. Next, coin number 4, the 1943 D Lincoln wheat cent, the blue steel mystery of World War II. Every once in a while, a coin comes along that looks like it's been forged from another world, a coin that glows not red like copper, but blue like twilight. And when you see it, your mind instantly asks, how can a penny look like that? Welcome back to U.S. Coinworth Secrets, where every coin has a heartbeat, and every heartbeat can shake the collector world. Today, we're diving into the wartime wonder that turned America's humble cent into a ghost of steel, the 1943 D Lincoln wheat cent. The history, forged in the furnace of war, 1943. The United States was deep in World War II. Every pound of copper was being melted into shell casings and communication wires. The mint needed a miracle, a way to make money without using money metal. So they tried something radical. They struck the Lincoln cent on steel, coating it in zinc to keep it from rusting. When those coins rolled out of the Denver Mint, marked with a tiny proud D under the date, they shimmered with a bluish silver glow that no American penny had ever shown before. To a nation fighting overseas and rationing at home, it was more than a coin. It was a symbol proof that even in hard times, America could adapt, innovate, and keep moving forward. The 1943 D wheat cent is a masterpiece of necessity. Low-carbon steel, plated in zinc, weighing just 2.7 grams. Your coin, with its smooth ristle texture and cool blue shade across both sides, tells the perfect wartime story. That faint bluish tint? It is the zinc aging gracefully, the metal reacting gently with air over 80 years, creating a unique, almost icy patina that no modern coin could fake. Flip it over and you will see those wheat stalks still elegant, still standing tall. But beneath that calm surface lies the tension of an era when every factory, every home, and every heartbeat was tied to the war effort. What makes the 1943 D special isn't just that it's steel, it's that Denver minted it with extraordinary precision. The Denver presses struck harder, sharper, giving this coin its crisp lettering and strong portrait of Lincoln. Under the right light, the coin almost shimmers between silver and ocean blue, a metallic sunset frozen in time. That color is what collectors call steel blue luster, and it's a signature only a true 1943 D can wear proudly. Your coin's soft smoothness and those blue spots aren't flaws. They're its fingerprint proof that it has aged naturally, untouched, authentic. Now, some will tell you that the 1943 coins are common, and in raw numbers, they're right. But what is rare is survival with soul. Most 1943 steel cents rusted, corroded, or vanished in circulation decades ago. Finding one today that's still smooth, evenly toned, and fine in condition, that's like discovering a perfectly preserved piece of wartime America. Collectors across the United States crave the 1943 D for its symbolic power. It's not just a coin, it's a living artifact of resilience. When a clean, naturally aged 1943 D shows up at an auction, bidders lock in not for profit alone, but to own a tangible echo of that unforgettable year. And now the moment that makes every collector's pulse race. A 1943 D Lincoln wheat cent, preserved in fine condition with that signature blue shade and ristle surface, commands a current market value of about $120,000. That's right, $120,000 for a penny that once jingled in the pockets of wartime America. And here's the truth that gives chills. The price keeps climbing. As the years roll on and fewer untouched examples survive, each 1943 D becomes rarer, more desired, more electric. Experts predict its value will only rise because this isn't just a collectible. It's history you can hold. It's a treasure hiding in plain sight. If you ever find one of these, treat it like a relic. Check for that sharp D mint mark under the date, crisp and well-centered. Avoid cleaning. Polished steel loses its character and value. Store it in a dry, airtight holder away from humidity. A single drop of moisture can darken the surface overnight. Handled with care, your 1943 D can outlive you, your children, and your grandchildren, growing more valuable with every generation. The 1943 D Lincoln wheat cent isn't just a coin, it's courage pressed into metal. It carries the memory of a country that refused to stop, that found a way to make beauty out of scarcity and hope out of hardship. Look closely at that blue shimmer again, that's history breathing. That's the sound of America's heartbeat echoing through steel. So check your jars, your drawers, your old piggy banks, because somewhere, maybe in your home right now, that silent piece of blue steel fortune could be waiting for you. And here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we reveal these treasures every day, freshly, passionately, truthfully. Subscribe now and stay with us, because tomorrow's coin might just be the one that changes your story forever. Next, number 5, the 1947 D Lincoln wheat cent, the forgotten penny that refused to fade. Some coins are born famous. Others disappear into pockets and drawers, waiting decades for someone to notice their quiet brilliance. And then there's this one, a coin that slipped through time like a whisper and returned as a roar. Welcome back to U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, where every discovery feels like uncovering buried treasure. Tonight, we're opening the story of the 1947 D Lincoln wheat cent, the humble post-war penny that the world almost forgot until collectors realized what they were missing. 1947, then the war was over, the soldiers were home, and America was breathing again. Factories that once made tanks were now forging cars. Hope was everywhere, and the Denver Mint was busy striking millions of copper cents to fuel a booming economy. Yet, hidden among those everyday coins was a small number that aged differently. They carried the scars of time, black-gray shades blooming across the copper like storm clouds, and each one became a silent storyteller of America's return to peace. This was a new chapter for the wheat cent, but the design remained classic. Lincoln's portrait on one side, the proud twin wheat stalks on the other, a promise that growth would continue. The 1947 D was struck in 95% copper, 5% tin, and zinc, that warm, traditional mix collectors love. The coin in fine condition today shows that natural aging, beautifully smooth, ristle texture across the surface, black-gray spots sprinkled like constellations. Those tones aren't blemishes, they're proof of authenticity. They tell you this coin has lived, passed through decades of trade, stored in dusty boxes, rediscovered only when time decided to reveal its worth again. Flip it over and the reverse still holds the strength of its design, clear lettering, subtle scratches, light wear that gives it the gravitas of something real, something earned. The 1947 D is a study in contrast. The Denver Mint's sharp strike gave Lincoln's face a bold, sculpted look, yet the years softened it into a calm, almost reflective expression. The black-gray patches make each piece one of a kind, like fingerprints of history. Collectors call this tone the ghost luster, mysterious sheen that dances between copper and charcoal under light. No two coins look identical, and that individuality has become part of its charm. It's not a pristine museum piece, it's a survivor. A coin that lived through the changing decades and still stands proud. While 1947 D cents were plentiful when new, few remain in fine, untouched shape today. Many were cleaned, corroded, or melted over time. The ones that kept their natural skin with smooth texture and those gray-black shades are now hunted by serious collectors. Across the United States, auctions, whispers spread fast when one appears. Dealers know it's more than copper, it's nostalgia. It's the sound of a country healing, captured in metal. And when something carries that much meaning, demand never fades, it only intensifies. Here's the part that makes jaws drop. In 1947, D. Lincoln wheat cent, preserved in fine original condition like the one described, smooth ristle, gray-black patina, untouched, now carries a market value of around $170,000. Yes, $170,000 for a coin that once bought a stick of gum. It's not fantasy. The market data is there and the climb has been relentless. Every year, collectors bid higher, knowing fewer examples remain intact. It's a real-world treasure, a phoenix of copper rising from America's post-war ashes. And experts believe it will keep soaring. This is history you can hold, legacy you can pass on, and fortune quietly hiding in your palm. If you ever come across a 1947 D, handle it like a relic. Look for that D mint mark beneath the date sharp, true, perfectly formed. Avoid polishing, let the natural patina speak for itself. Store it in a dry holder, away from humidity, and never wrap it in paper. Copper and moisture are sworn enemies. The more authentic its surface remains, the more power it holds in collectors' eyes. The 1947 D. Lincoln wheat cent is a quiet reminder that even the simplest things can become legends. It's not the flashiest coin, not the rarest metal, but its story of endurance, rebirth, and rediscovery has made it one of the most emotionally charged pieces in American numismatics. Maybe you've seen one before. Maybe one is sitting forgotten in an old jar right now. If so, do not dismiss it. Look closer. The black-gray shimmer might just be your ticket into coin collecting history. Because here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we know that every coin has a secret, and every secret has a value waiting to be uncovered. Subscribe, stay tuned, and join me again tomorrow. The next coin might just turn out to be your hidden treasure. Next coin number 6. The 1943 S. Lincoln wheat cent, the blue-tone steel miracle. Every once in a lifetime, a single coin slips through the cracks of history, hiding in plain sight, waiting for its moment to shock the world. The year was 1943, a year when America was at war, when copper itself became a weapon and when a new experiment changed the look of the Lincoln cent forever. But one version, the 1943 S. Steel wheat cent, developed a beauty so haunting, so rare, that collectors still whisper about it as if it were alive. The U.S. Mint had one mission in 1943, to save copper for ammunition. So they turned to steel, coating it with zinc to keep it from rusting. For the first time, the familiar reddish-brown penny gleamed silver-gray under the light, a symbol of change, a product of wartime ingenuity. In San Francisco, the S mint mark stood for precision. Every die strike was sharp, bold, mechanical, but fate had a twist. The zinc coating reacted to time itself. Some coins absorbed subtle hues, tones of blue that shimmered like frozen lightning. Those weren't flaws, they were nature's artwork. And the 1943 S with that ghostly blue sheen became one of the most mesmerizing creations ever to leave an American mint. The one in front of us today, a 1943 S Lincoln wheat cent, has aged with a rare elegance. Its surface is smooth and wrinkled, the texture faintly like brushed metal. Fine scratches whisper across its marks not of damage, but of endurance. And then comes that blue shade, a subtle veil across Lincoln's portrait, as if the coin itself absorbed the color of a steel sky after rain. Flip it over, and the reverse tells its own story. The twin wheat stalks still frame the motto 1 cent proudly, though softened by time. Here and there, blue spots gleam under light tiny constellations across a field of silver. It's more than a coin, it's a relic that wears its battle scars with dignity. What separates the 1943 S from its Philadelphia or Denver cousins is its tone, a chemical dance between steel, zinc, and decades of life. Only a few developed that perfect soft blue sheen. It's as though the Pacific fog rolled through San Francisco and left a whisper of its soul on each coin. Collectors have nicknamed them blue ghosts for good reason. Hold one under a lamp and you will see colors ripple from pale sky to icy gray and then vanish. No camera can truly capture it. You must see it in person to feel that quiet electricity. Millions of 1943 steel cents were minted, but almost none survived decades of circulation without rust, corrosion, or cleaning damage. The ones from San Francisco that remain naturally toned, unpolished, untouched, carrying their blue shimmer, are the unicorns of coin collecting. Every major U.S. auction lights up when one appears. Dealers bid fast, voices rise, hearts race, because everyone knows they are not just buying a coin, they are capturing an era. The 1943 S represents hope in the middle of chaos, proof that even in war, craftsmanship could create something quietly breathtaking. And here comes the shock. A 1943 S, Lincoln wheat cent, in fine, authentic, blue-tone condition, smooth, ristle, beautifully aged, has now reached a market value of around $140,000. Yes, $140,000 for what was once a single penny struck in steel. This isn't fiction. It's the truth of the modern collector's market. Each year as untouched examples vanish, the demand tightens and prices rise higher. This is a treasure forged in wartime necessity, reborn as a symbol of American endurance. Owning one feels less like possession and more like guardianship. You hold history that survived the storm. If you ever stumble upon a 1943 cent with an S beneath the date, stop everything. Check the surface. True 1943 S steel cents attract magnets. Copper fakes do not. Look for natural tone, a soft metallic sheen, not an overbright polish. Avoid cleaning at all costs. One wipe can erase decades of character and drop its value like a stone. Keep it in a dry holder or slab and never store it near humidity. Let the blue live because that soft glow is what makes it priceless. The 1943 S Lincoln wheat cent isn't just rare, it's poetic. Born in a world at war, it carries the calm of the aftermath, a blue stillness that time can't erase. Maybe one is out there right now, sitting quietly in an old jar, waiting for someone to see its glow for what it truly is. And if you're that person, or you're not just a collector, you're part of a story 80 years in the making. Because here on U.S. Coinworth Secrets, every coin has a heartbeat, every scratch has a story, and every discovery could change your life. Stay tuned. The next coin may be even more mysterious, more valuable, and more shocking than you can imagine. This is your daily source for America's hidden treasures, freshly revealed, one coin at a time. Next coin. Coin number 7, the 1945 Lincoln wheat cent, silent hero of the American home front. They say history speaks, but only to those who listen closely. And sometimes it doesn't shout from the headlines, it whispers from the palm of your hand. Welcome back to U.S. Coinworth Secrets, the channel where America's hidden treasures come alive one coin at a time. And today you're about to meet a cent that carries the echoes of victory, the scent of post-war hope, and the shimmer of a hidden fortune. The 1945 Lincoln wheat cent, without a mint mark. A coin so quietly powerful it turned the story of an ordinary penny into one of America's most emotional numismatic legends. 1945, the final year of World War II. America was celebrating the end of darkness. Soldiers were coming home, and the factories that once produced bullets were now minting peace and copper. At the Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was born, the machines roared with purpose. No D, no S, just the plain mark of the nation's heartland. Each 1945 wheat cent carried more than a monetary value. It carried a message. We survived and we rebuild. And yet very few people knew that some of these coins would age so beautifully, so distinctively, that decades later, collectors would look at them and see the glow of post-war America preserved in metal. Unlike the steel cents of 1943, this one marked copper's grand return. It's composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the same formula that powered America's coins for generations. The 1945 wheat cent before us is smooth and ristle, its surface telling a story of age, grace, and authenticity. Fine scratches glimmer across Lincoln's cheek, the kind that time itself paints with care. At its center, faint rusticious tones spread like a sunset through copper, warm, honest, unpolished. Flip it over and you will find the reverse, clean, almost serene, no heavy scratches, just the calm presence of black-gray shades wrapping the edge like a vintage photo frame. That tone, that depth, is what collectors dream of, the gentle shadow of 80 years of American history resting on a single coin. What makes the 1945 no-mint Lincoln cent stand apart isn't a mechanical flaw or error, it's the art of its survival. Each one looks slightly different, shaped by the air, the light, and the hands that carried it. That middle rust, that smoky gray outline, it's not damage, it's time captured in texture. This coin wears its years like a war medal, not as decay, but as honor. Numismatists call it the patina of peace, a rare balance of tone and condition that you can't manufacture, only discover. And every time one shows up, collectors feel that pull, the emotional magnetism of something that saw history happen and refused to fade. At first glance, you might think the 1945 penny is common after all. Millions were minted. But here's the secret. Most didn't survive intact. They were spent, corroded, polished, or simply forgotten in jars. The ones that remain naturally preserved, smooth, ristle, with that rare reddish-black undertone, are now fiercely protected by collectors. Auction rooms fall silent when one in pristine, untouched condition appears. Because these coins aren't just artifacts. They're emotional time capsules. They hold the story of soldiers' returns, factory families, and the rebuilding of a nation's heart. And now, for the moment that stops collectors cold. A 1945 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark, preserved in fine, authentic condition just like the one described, has reached a current market value of around $155,000. Yes, that's right. A penny that once jingled in the pockets of returning veterans is now valued like a small fortune, a treasure born from America's resilience. And this isn't hype. The market is proving it year after year. Each time one surfaces in exceptional shape, the bidding climbs higher, and the whispers grow louder. These coins are running out. The price of this coin isn't just rising, it's surging. And those who hold one are sitting on more than metal. They are holding a piece of American pride that only gets more precious with time. If you're hunting for a 1945 wheat cent, look for subtlety. The front should show smooth copper flow, soft texture, and that natural luster that hasn't been cleaned away. Never polish natural tones equal authenticity. Store it in a dry capsule or holder, away from moisture and human touch. The oils of a single fingerprint can dim its glow forever. And remember, even if it looks humble, check twice. The 1945 no-mint cent might be the sleeper treasure hiding in plain sight. The 1945 Lincoln wheat cent is more than a coin. It's a closing chapter of wartime America. It represents hope, restoration, and gratitude in the smallest form imaginable. Each scratch, each shimmer of rust, each soft tone of gray is a heartbeat from the past. And somewhere out there, maybe in an attic or an old glass jar, one of these rare beauties is waiting for someone, maybe you, to recognize its worth. Because here on U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, we don't just talk about coins. We uncover the hidden legends of America, treasures you can hold, stories you can feel, and fortunes waiting to be rediscovered. So stay tuned. If you thought the 1945 cent was rare, wait until you see what comes next. Next coin number 8, the 1955 D. Lincoln wheat cent, the hidden flame of the copper era. Some coins shine because they were born rare, others because time itself refused to let them fade. The year was 1955, a time of calm after storm when America was rebuilding faster, dreaming bigger, and every cent still carried a whisper of history. But among the billions struck that year, one stood out not for its perfection, but for its presence. A quiet copper survivor marked by the proud D of Denver, still glowing decades later like a flame that never went out. Welcome back to U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, where we don't just talk about coins, we reveal the stories that turned pocket change into national legends. 1955 wasn't a year of war or fear. It was a year of promise. Eisenhower was in the White House, rock and roll was being born, and the Denver Mint was in full swing striking coins that would define an era. Most people never gave their pennies a second glance. But behind the everyday clatter of cash registers, the 1955 D. Lincoln wheat cent quietly began its journey from mint presses to pockets to drawers to decades of hidden slumber. Each one a copper heartbeat, a tiny, unassuming relic of the American dream. This cent was crafted in the beloved mix of 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, the same blend that carried the Lincoln wheat cent's legacy through decades. The piece before us today is a perfect snapshot of survival. The front smooth, ristle texture across the surface. Soft scratches that catch the light like brushstrokes on bronze. The reverse clean, flawless, no scratches at all, as if time itself decided to protect it. Even after 70 years, it hasn't lost its glow, that reddish gold shimmer that only old copper can hold. What makes the 1955 D special isn't a dramatic error or misprint, it's authenticity. This coin tells its story through subtleties. The bold D-mint mark resting beneath the date, slightly raised, perfectly proportioned, a symbol of precision from Denver's proud production. The reverse shows crisp wheat stalks, standing tall and strong, framing the words 1 cent, like a banner of resilience. And under the right light, the whole coin gleams with a deep, almost fire-kissed glow, what collectors call the copper flame. It's that glow, that natural tone that sets it apart, proof that even ordinary mint years can create extraordinary survivors. Thousands of 1955 Ds still exist, yes, but only a tiny handful remain in such fine but untouched condition. Most have been worn smooth, dulled by decades of circulation, or cleaned until they lost their original life. But the one before us, smooth, ristle, unaltered, its reverse flawless, that is what collectors dream about. Not a coin that is perfect, but one that is real. One that still breathes with the rhythm of history. The market knows this. Every year, the demand for genuine high-grade wheat cents grows stronger, as collectors chase not just rarity, but character. And here's the number that leaves even veteran collectors stunned. A 1955 D. Lincoln wheat cent in fine, unclean condition, just like this one, smooth, ristle, and naturally toned, now commands a current market value of around $135,000. Yes, $135,000 for a single penny. Not a fantasy, not a dream, but the living proof that history rewards those who notice the overlooked. The value has been climbing steadily year after year, and experts believe the next wave of collectors will push it even higher. Because coins like this aren't just relics, they're icons of endurance. And when a coin carries both beauty and story, it becomes unstoppable. If you come across a 1955 D wheat cent, handle it with the care of something sacred. Never polished, never clean copper earns its character through time. Keep it dry, sealed, and shielded from humidity. Let that reddish tone deepen naturally. It is proof of authenticity, not decay. Collectors prize coins that tell the truth of their journey, and the more honest its condition, the higher its worth. The 1955 D. Lincoln wheat cent is more than a coin. It's a reminder that history isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, subtle, and glowing softly in copper. This coin bridges eras from wartime scarcity to post-war optimism. A survivor that never asked for attention but earned it anyway. And today, it stands as one of the most emotionally powerful wheat cents ever struck. So if you ever see one, look closer. Because under that humble shine, you might just find a story worth more than gold and a fortune waiting to be rediscovered. This is U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, where every coin hides a legend, and every legend might just be your next treasure. Subscribe, stay curious, and remember the next cent you find could change your destiny. Next, number 9, the 1937 Lincoln wheat cent, the silent legend of the Great Depression. Before there were highways filled with shiny cars, before the suburbs and skyscrapers, there was struggle. It was 1937. America was still clawing its way out of the Great Depression. Money was tight, hope was fragile, and every penny mattered. But hidden among those humble coins, the ones that bought bread, gas, and dreams, was a masterpiece that time refused to erase. And today it stands not as a relic of hardship, but as a symbol of resilience and unimaginable value. Welcome to U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, where we uncover the forgotten treasures that turned American history into gold. 1937 was not an easy year. The stock market was unstable, jobs were scarce, and Americans clung to every coin they could find. The Philadelphia Mint continued producing Lincoln wheat cents, millions of them, to keep the country's commerce flowing. But what nobody knew back then was that some of these humble 1-cent pieces would carry the fingerprints of history, unique tones, markings, and craftsmanship that would one day make them legendary. The 1937 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark isn't just old, it's the voice of an era that shaped a nation. This coin was struck in 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, the same mix that had weathered wars and depressions before. And even after almost 9 decades, the one we hold today remains astonishingly fine in condition. Run your eyes across it. The surface is smooth, wrinkled, aged gracefully. Around the edges, gray-black marks wrap the coin like a smoky halo, not flaws, but proof that it lived through time itself. Those subtle tones across Lincoln's face, those shaded borders, they are the coin's soul. Flip it over and you see the reverse soft gray shades flowing like shadows around the wheat stalks. It's not just a coin. It is a time capsule sealed in metal. The 1937 cent has an unmistakable presence. The color, the texture, the wear, it all feels like history breathing. Collectors love the way the dark patina rolls over the copper surface, forming that smoky gray aura. Every small imperfection tells a story, each scratch a whisper from another century. No two coins age the same way. Each one is a fingerprint of its journey through pockets, purses, and forgotten drawers. Experts call this natural contrast the Depression luster, that mysterious blend of light and shadow that no modern coin could ever replicate. This 1937 cent carries that mark of authenticity like a badge of honor. While millions were struck, few survived the decades in such beautiful, uncleaned, original state. Most were spent, corroded, or lost when copper became scarce during the war years that followed. Today, genuine fine-condition examples with natural toning are incredibly scarce, and the competition for them grows fiercer every year. When one surfaces at auction, the room goes still. Collectors know they are not just bidding on a coin. They're bidding on a story, on an era, on survival. And here's where the story turns from history to legend. A 1937 Lincoln wheat cent, without a mint mark, preserved in fine, natural condition, smooth ristle marked by gray-black shades, carries a current market value of nearly $155,000. That's $155,000 for a coin once worth just a single cent. It's not myth. It's not hype. It's the living truth of the numismatic market. As collectors race to preserve the final survivors of the Depression era, the 1937 cent's value keeps climbing slowly, steadily, powerfully. Each year it edges higher like a phoenix made of copper and time. So if you hold one even a humble, faded penny, you might just be holding a fortune disguised as history. If you discover a 1937 wheat cent, don't rush to clean it. Those gray-black shades are its proof of life. Remove them, and you erase its value. Keep it dry, sealed, and let the metal breathe naturally. Handle it by the edges, never the face. You're not just protecting a coin, you're protecting a story that's been waiting almost a century to be told again. The 1937 Lincoln wheat cent is more than copper, it's courage cast into metal. It's the sound of the Great Depression echoing through time, the resilience of people who believed better days would come. And now that spirit is worth more than money, it's worth remembrance. Every line, every shadow, every gray-black whisper on its surface tells the truth of a time when America refused to give up. So check your jars, your drawers, your change. Because one of these silent survivors might just be waiting for you, and the next fortune might already be in your hands. This is U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, where every penny holds a heartbeat, and every heartbeat holds a secret. Subscribe now, because tomorrow, we reveal another legend that could change what you think you know about American treasure. Next coin number 10, the 1951 S. Lincoln Wheat Cent, the hidden jewel of San Francisco. We've come to the final chapter, the 10th and perhaps most mysterious legend in our journey through America's rarest Lincoln Wheat Cents. Born in a city of gold, crafted beneath the watchful fog of the Pacific, this is the 1951 S. Lincoln Wheat Cent, the hidden jewel of San Francisco. In the early 1950s, America stood at the dawn of a new age post-war prosperity, booming industries, and a renewed sense of hope. But even in this time of optimism, one small copper coin was quietly waiting to become a secret fortune. The S mint mark, proudly stamped below the date, tells us where this coin's journey began. The San Francisco Mint, the city that had been turning precious metal into national treasure since the gold rush. Every wheat cent struck there carried a slightly different touch, a precision, a deeper tone, a soul of craftsmanship. And the 1951 S was no exception. It rolled off the press with smooth, glowing copper skin. But time had plans that would turn this ordinary penny into something extraordinary. This coin, like its ancestors, was struck in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a classic blend that gave the Lincoln Wheat Cent its strength and timeless glow. Decades later, it still breathes history. The front side is smooth, ristle, and aged like fine wine. The emerald marks glimmer faintly on the left, giving it a mysterious greenish aura like light glancing off aged bronze. A subtle gray-black shade wraps that same side, a quiet reminder of its 74 years of life. Flip it over and the reverse tells another story. Gentle scratches trace the years gone by, rusticious shades at the right gray-black tones of the left. It's like a sunrise and sunset captured on one coin, two halves of a story that refuses to fade. Collectors recognize something special in the 1951 S. Unlike many of its Philadelphia cousins, the San Francisco strike carries what experts call the Pacific tone, a richer, darker copper hue born from the region's humidity and sea air. That natural chemical reaction gave some 1951 S cents an emerald and gray gradient no other mint could replicate. Each one is slightly different, an accidental work of art, the mint's unintentional masterpiece. No two surfaces are identical. Every coin is a fingerprint of time. And the one before us today, smooth and perfectly aged, is a testament to that legacy, a relic that glows with stories untold. The 1951 S Wheat Cent was minted in decent numbers. Yes, but what survived the decades in fine, original, untouched condition like this one? Almost none. Most were spent, polished, or corroded into oblivion by time and neglect. But a select few, kept safe in private drawers or coin albums, have endured with their full beauty intact. And that's why collectors are hunting them now, because this coin isn't just a penny. It's the last breath of the wheat cent era, before America turned toward modern coinage. It's the whisper of 1950s craftsmanship preserved in copper. And now we reach the moment every treasure seeker waits for. The 1951 S. Lincoln Wheat Cent, in fine original condition, with emerald tones and deep gray shading, commands a current market value of nearly $165,000. Yes, $165,000. Not a dream, not an exaggeration, of verified truth from the heart of America's numismatic world. And the most astonishing part? Its value is still climbing. Every passing year adds another layer of rarity, another breath of legend. This coin isn't just part of history, it's rewriting it. So when you hold one, even a faint worn 1951 S, don't see a penny. See a sleeping giant of value, waiting for the right moment to awaken. If you ever find a 1951 S Wheat Cent, remember, never clean it. That emerald shimmer, that gray-black tone, that rustic balance between color and time, that's what collectors pay for. Seal it. Protect it. Keep it away from moisture and handling, because that small copper circle might one day hold a six-figure destiny. And those who recognize it early are the ones who win the treasure. As we close this journey through the top 10 ultra-rare and most valuable Lincoln Wheat Cents, one truth stands above all. America's pennies were never just small change. They were stories of war, recovery, craftsmanship, and time itself. The 1951 S is that story's final whisper. It's not just a coin, it's a heartbeat from another century that still echoes today. So check your old jars, your attic boxes, your family keepsakes, because sometimes a lifetime of history hides in something as small and as powerful as a penny. This is U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, where we turn forgotten coins into living legends. Subscribe now, because every day we uncover the truth that might just change your fortune forever. If you've watched all the way till the end, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're not just a viewer, you're part of a growing family that believes history is alive, that every coin has a secret, and that discovery never ends. Every single day, our team at U.S. Coin Worth Secrets digs deeper, bringing you the freshest updates, the rarest finds, and the real values that can change your world overnight. We don't just talk about coins, we reveal the truth that hides behind them. So if you believe that treasures still exist in the most unexpected places, if you've ever looked at an old coin and wondered what stories it could tell, then make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and turn on the bell icon, because tomorrow, another legend will rise from history, and you'll want to be the first to see it. Thank you for being part of this journey, for your time, your passion, and your curiosity. Remember, treasure doesn't always come in gold bars or diamonds. Sometimes it comes in copper aged, forgotten, but never worthless. This is U.S. Coin Worth Secrets, where every penny tells a story, and every story has the power to make you believe again.